Okay, so the text messages between Robinson and his alleged partner have graced the internet. I'm very conflicted. You have half a brain, you know, the FBI under Kash Patel is compromised. Not only because he looks fucking insane, he looks like a crazy guy, but because he's a Trump sycophant. He wrote a fucking kid's book about Trump being king. Anything he's saying, please excuse me for not immediately trusting what is coming out of Kash Patel's mouth. Specifically, if you listen to the interview he did on Fox News, it sounds like he's trying to justify his job. The talk online right now is, was this an assassination by Israel to take out Charlie Kirk because he allegedly was becoming skeptical of Israel and our engagement with Israel, how much money we give them, letting them commit an ongoing genocide? Once again, conflicted with even that. Because the moment Trump told Kirk to stop talking about Epstein, he did it. He did it like that. A morbidly obese, retarded pedophile told him to stop talking about it, and he did it. So in my head, even if he was skeptical of Israel's involvement, maybe he also could have been reading the room of what other young Republicans are thinking, which is, why the fuck are we sending them so much money? Why the fuck are we letting them commit an ongoing genocide? But at the end of the day, if Trump tells him, hey, shut up, shut your fucking pie hole, he's going to do it because he was a mouthpiece for a pedophilic elite. That needs to be said first. When these text message exchanges come out between Robinson and his partner, of course the internet is wondering, well, are these doctored? Did they make these up or twist words to kind of fit the narrative that the Trump administration, Kash Patel, the FBI under Kash Patel, want the public to see? What's conflicting for me is, let's just say, hypothetically, these are doctored. Well, you just made me more sympathetic to the kid. That's the issue. I wouldn't say the issue I'm running into, but these texts make this kid out to be very normal. He was just a guy that grew up in Utah, liked to hunt, fish, shoot guns, liked to game with his friends, and maybe, just maybe, his political views shifted after he met people, befriended, possibly has a trans or gay, bi partner, and realized, oh shit, there's evil in the world. There are people that want to hurt those that I love, that their rhetoric can result in violence. I'm just going to take the text messages at face value and assume that they're real text messages, assuming they're not doctored by the FBI. What goes through my head is sympathy for this kid. So the text messages aren't making him out to look like a psycho. Think of how many mass shootings we have from other young people where they just wantonly kill random people. The one shooting that I always go back to mentally was that kid that committed the mass shooting up, I think it was upstate New York at a Kroger to kill a bunch of black people. Those black people don't hold any institutional power. They can't do anything. So when you're killing just normal, innocent people that hold no significant power, you're not really completing anything. And in a country where we have so many fucking mass shootings, you're not getting blasted into the iconosphere because there's so many of them, you will be forgotten within a week. The collective memory of the internet is like a couple days at most. This kid had every opportunity, if he wanted to take it, to just start blasting into that crowd. And instead, he killed one guy. He killed one guy. And in the text message exchanges, if they're real, I'm assuming they are, if they're real, show him saying, some hate can't be negotiated out of. If he was truly some psycho, whatever, he could have just started blasting into that crowd and he didn't. The new paradigm we live in is so postmodern and every institution is so compromised by their ideological worldview and their unquenchable thirst for power that it's impossible to believe any narrative coming out. My brain always kind of goes to Occam's razor. This could have been a kid committing a shitpost assassination, or maybe it was more honorable than that. Maybe his political views did change and he saw evil in the world and decided to do something about it. One thing that's been really fucking irking me with liberals since this happened is I'm not expecting any normie Democrat to come out and just like fucking start tap dancing and pissing on Charlie Kirk's grave, especially content creators. Of course, I'm not expecting people to do that. But it's that people forget who Kirk was. he was not just like a content creator. He was close confidants with the Trump's family. Oh, was he changing his mind so Israel took him out? If Trump called him and said, hey, yo, stop questioning Israel, he would have done it immediately. Maybe it was, but every speculation I hear about that sounds more and more outlandish. There was a secret flying drone. Oh, if you look closely at this really pixelated, compressed video, I don't think people understand what video compression does. Oh, you could see a red dot on his neck. This was definitely a professional hit job, a sniper. What if it wasn't? What if it was just some kid who looked at Kirk and said, oh yeah, this guy's an agent of Satan. This guy is not an agent for meaningful, pure change in the world. After Aaron Bushnell committed self-immolation as a form of a radical protest, there were lots of talks of, oh, how mentally ill he was. What if he wasn't? What if in that moment he had never been more sane in his whole life? That's what I think people need to kind of keep in mind. What if this kid wasn't just, I think it's easy for us to immediately go to this, these people are psychotic. What if they're not? What if they were doing something committing a violent act like that because they believed in something possibly bigger than themselves? Who knows? This assassination is insanely hard to parse. You have a million voices all speculating on shit they don't know. You have an FBI department that's completely fucking compromised. Just look at how Kash Patel botched this because he's a fucking retarded mongrel who doesn't know what he's doing. His job should be just licking the smegma off of Trump. He's not good at his job. He's not an investigator. I'm telling you, go listen to him on Fox News. And he sounds like a man trying to justify his job so he doesn't fucking get fired. And you know what, FBI? Good job. If you guys doctored these text messages, you just made this kid infinitely more sympathetic. You made him out to not just be some psychotic lone wolf leftist insane gunman with a trans girlfriend. It sounds like he might have committed this because he loves somebody and he hated the direction the world is going in, where such a small percentage of the population gets demonized. Why? Why are they being demonized? Because Republicans, conservatives, they don't have an answer for the future. They don't have an answer for the shit that's going to affect my generation, Gen Z, and Gen Alpha. So they can go after a boogeyman without actually completing anything. If all of a sudden they can snap their fingers and all trans people are gone, guess what? Your future's still going to fucking suck. And they don't have a plan for that. What's their plan? To line the pockets of a bunch of pedophile billionaires. That's the plan. But anyways, thank you, FBI, for releasing the text messages. If you doctored them, you made me insanely sympathetic to Robinson. If you didn't, well, I'm still sympathetic to him. So great job on whatever narrative you're trying to craft. It isn't going to work in the long run. Maybe I'm a hopeless romantic, though. Maybe that's the problem. As I saw some sort of silver lining that this assassination wasn't just a shit post. It wasn't just a meme. It wasn't done by some suburban groiper to impress their gay father figure, the Aryan Mexican Nick Fuentes. And maybe my soul just got a ping of hope that there was something more to this, something honorable. Maybe that's the problem. I'm a hopeless romantic that thought maybe this was a guy doing this to protect their gay, bi, trans, whatever partner. Or maybe they weren't dating. Maybe it's all made up. The thing is, though, is I don't think we'll ever know. Robinson's family doesn't want him associated with anything even remotely center-left. That'd be a bridge too far. We saw how his grandma reacted. She cared less about that he committed an assassination and more that he was being called a fucking liberal. Maybe that's the problem. Maybe I'm holding out a bit too much hope. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe.